Hey everyone, it's Dylan and we're back again for another week here in the shop. We've got a pretty exciting week actually, some big things we're gonna finish up. We are finally, I know so many of you have been waiting, we're finally gonna be putting the first coat of finish on the round walnut burl table. A lot of you were commenting and saying that you were thinking it was taking too long and you couldn't wait to see the end, but these videos are real time. So that's actually about how long it takes from pour to the first coat of finish to do this. It's usually like 2 to 3 weeks. So we're doing that this week. We're working on a layered table with some mica on the bottom, and then something new that we've never showed you guys before is we're going to include some of the process of our solid wood doors. So we also specialize in the construction of big solid front entry units. We've been doing that longer than we've been doing tables, and we've got a solid maple one in the shop we're working on. Okay, so Spencer right now is putting in our layer of mica. Our first layer of resin's been curing for about 24 hours, so it's just still a little bit soft, but it's thick enough so that these bits of mica will sit on top. Then we're probably gonna let it cure up for a little bit more, and then we'll end up pouring our clear blue layer over top of this. We got kind of a metallic clear blue resin in there with a bit of mica mixed throughout. And then here's our layer. We've already put down all of the glitter that we want for the bottom. And then Sagar's just gonna pour in this next batch here.
Jesse from Breaking Bad.
So we're just adding a little bit more swirl here to what we have left in the bucket, just so we get closer to what we're going for the client. There we have it, everyone. We got the pours done in here. So we have that clear blue with a bit of metallic on top, and then that layer of mica on the bottom. So we'll leave this here probably till Monday or Tuesday to cure up. Then we'll pop it out of the mold and get everything flattened. But wow, these pieces of walnut have so much character in them that's coming out. So you guys just saw us do the pour for this layered table, the black walnut with the mica flakes, and unfortunately, it did not go to plan at all. We were expecting the mica flakes to stay on top of that original layer we poured, but I guess that layer was still a little bit too soft. And what that did is it made all the mica sink to the bottom, and then when we surfaced it, they all disappeared. So that's okay. We're not too worried about it actually. We have a plan, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this piece in epoxy, and we're going to sprinkle mica directly on the surface and then flood coat it in epoxy so that mica is actually sealed in there, and then we'll still be able to get that same look we're going for. So Spencer and John are just working on mixing up the 15-minute epoxy right now to fill in all the voids on the burl table. So we got it cut to size using the Avid CNC. There's still a little bit of sanding that we have to do on the edges just to take some of the machine marks out, but overall it's pretty smooth. Then they've got the surface sanded up, I think almost to 320, maybe they're not quite there. They still have to do a few fills on here. That's what the 15 minutes gonna be for. We're using the 15-minute on this because we can actually pigment it somewhat to match the blue that's in this and get all these nice little voids. And then they've got some hot water that they're gonna put the epoxy in, and that's gonna actually make it thin enough so it flows in there.
And you can kind of see it's like ribbony almost.
Yeah.
And it'll go like clear once it's all mixed together. Oh, that's sick. So you can see like it's like instantly more liquidy. Once it's just warmed up a little bit, and it just brings the bubbles to the top.
Finally time, everyone. Of course the compressor comes on as I start talking, but whatever. It is finally time to oil the walnut burl table. We're all excited. There's like John and Spencer up here too, just because they want to watch this. It's so exciting. But Ben will explain to you guys a little bit about what he's using on this for the first coat, and I'm especially really excited. I'm gonna be filming a live stream when this happens. So
we're using this stuff, call it wood wax finish, and it's totally clear. It's kind of got a yellowy tint to it, but it goes on clear, and it's super thin. One might call it extra thin. And I just like to apply it with a brush because it keeps my hand from getting wet.
What does everyone think? Look at that color coming out of the burl. This piece here is actually probably my favorite. Just with all the pins and spikes it has coming out of it. Very, very cool. First coat is on this table here, the walnut burl table. So when we posted this on Instagram, a lot of people were saying that it looks like the earth. So we thought it just makes sense to probably call this our flat earth table, you know, being that it is flat, right? Obviously. So that's what we're gonna call it, the flat earth table. So something a little different that we're gonna show you guys here that we do a lot of, and I don't know why we haven't showed it before, is our solid wood door construction. So right now, Brad, John, and Spencer are working on doing a bent lamination for an arch top. So we've got all these thin plies of maple cut. I'll show you them right here. Here's like the thin plies that they're gluing. And those all get laminated together, glued on all surfaces, and then we're gonna clamp it into this arched frame here. And that's what's actually gonna give the outside shape of the door frame.
Putting on the first coat on this door. It's solid maple, and we're dyeing it with a 3-to-1 ratio of rosewood to ebony stain from Osmo, and it's pretty crazy how dark it gets just from the first coat.
So this door here, this maple door, is actually the door that is going to go with that curved top that you saw us glue earlier. The door itself doesn't have an arch top, but the frame has this nice little eyebrow arch to it, so we'll probably be assembling that sometime next week or in the week following. But we'll head downstairs and we'll actually show you how that glue up turned out. So here is the arch top that the boys glued up yesterday. We've got all of our solid maple plies in here. Rob actually ripped these on the Laguna bandsaw, and you can see it takes a lot of clamps to get this perfect, but we need that so that all of the plies come completely together. Then we'll take this out and we'll cut everything to size and machine it on the CNC. So these two tables you actually saw us working on in the past two videos. This one to my left here this is the smoky gray black walnut coffee table we poured last week. So this is almost sanded up, ready for finish. And then right over here is the deep blue dining table that we poured the week before. And this is with fast stone walnut. So they just got all the fills done in there, and we're doing the final sanding on this one too right now. Well, that's the end of the week now. It's Friday. We got a lot done this week. There was a lot of things going on in the shop. I think there's like 4 or 5 different tables we're working on that have been poured. We have that door, obviously. So it's been busy. I also wanted, before the end of the video, to give a shout out to Alberta Proud Apparel. We actually got these from Olympia Trust Company, who we've made a table for. So if you guys want to go back and watch that video, you can check that out. But they gave us these hoodies to wear, and being from Alberta, we're happy to wear them. So shout out to Alberta Proud Apparel. But for next week, what we have planned is we're actually going to start working on the base for the big burl table. So we've got it all designed. There is a rendering. I'll actually see if I can pull it up on my phone here and show you guys. But it's all solid black walnut, and it's a big half-lap joinery. So it's all going to have to get cut on the CNC. It's somewhat complicated, but not too bad. So there it is. It's kind of like that little bit of a cross, solid walnut cross that goes underneath. So that's next week. We're gonna cut all that on the CNC, assemble it, and try and get that burl table finished up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and we'll see you next week.